goes live in 2 minutes. Lynn Cullen live in 1 minute. Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live at pghcitypaper.com. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com.
Oh, wait a minute. I got the picture. Ho, 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 ho. We forgot the picture. There. There she is. That's my sister Susan, and hello to you. And it's another beautiful, glorious, rainless day in August in Pittsburgh, PA. And Susan, how you doing?
Yeah.
Hi.
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 Hi. Shit. All right.
It's
Cut it
gonna
out.
be that kind of a morning.
Yeah.
Is it?
Who's going to stop first? Okay. I have a question to ask you.
Okay.
You are more of a stock market person than me. So I'm looking at a picture of on the front page of our local paper, and it's of these guys in Chicago at the options exchange. And they're all on these phones with cords, old phones with cords, and they're all screaming at the top of their lungs. And here's what I want to know. In this day and age, when everything is computerized, why do we still have these exchanges?
It's about the last place that does. I mean, if you go, for example, if you go onto the trading floor at, say, Wells Fargo, and where they're, moving huge sums of stuff, it's a very quiet room with a bunch of people at computers.
Yeah, so why
and screens all around, and every once in a while they'll gather around a screen and watch something happen, but that's about it.
So why does the stock exchange and why does the options...
Stock exchange doesn't look like that anymore either.
It doesn't? They're not screaming on the floor? Okay, so why are these guys in Chicago screaming? What?
Because that's what people in Chicago do.
I mean, it just doesn't. I mean, doesn't any?
No,
you gotta
it doesn't
wonder
make any
why
sense,
they
but
don't say.
That's.
It's so bizarre.
Well, I don't even understand. I get irritated at all these huge sell-offs. I mean, cause
really, because somebody sneezed.
Well, if there's nothing, it's clearly. All designed to make a quick profit, and then at the same time, it shifts the markets majorly, and small guys need to know to just close their eyes and put their fingers in their ears, and it'll be back in a couple of days, and it will, but I don't understand that why it happens on X, Y, or Z day, because this China stuff has been known to be coming down the pike forever.
Right,
I mean,
right,
18 months ago, their commodities went down, which is a sign that the manufacturing sector and everything else is going to follow soon thereafter. And so everybody knew this was coming, and it shouldn't be a surprise. It's just sort of irritating that everybody jumps on the bandwagon and woe is me.
Suze, if it just occurred to me that if this picture I was looking at, you take out what I'm looking at is all white men. Take out the white men, put in a bunch of women, put in women on the floor, and that volatility would be said to be hormonal.
A result of someone's period.
Yeah. Really? Would it not? Would it not? Yes, it would. So, it's insanity. But some of it is, and here's the negative. This is why I'm almost glad the guys are still screaming on the floor in the pits in Chicago, because a lot of people are saying that a lot of this incredible volatility is because of these computer-driven
right, because of the algorithms that are fed into the computers that just trigger these huge sell-offs.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So, I mean, there's not even a human being at the controls. It's just like, blah, blah, blah. I mean, just craziness. To think that an entire global economy is based on such insanity is I'm sorry. Why isn't anybody saying this is nuts?
Well, plenty of pundits have been saying, just relax.
I know that's what they always say. I'm sick of them. People watching their 401ks go down. Just relax. They were saying that in 2008 at the beginning. Just relax. These are common.
Well, the fact of the matter is you don't have a choice. If you weren't smart enough to sell last week, you certainly didn't want to sell yesterday.
No.
And if you sold yesterday, you already missed out on a huge rebound.
Right. I actually, if anything,
yesterday was a buying opportunity.
Yeah, yesterday was a day to buy, although a lot of people probably, I would wait a little bit because there's more of a floor coming here. And as soon as you figure out where that might be, then you buy.
Yeah. See, well, that's the fallacy. You can't let greed take over judgment, which is if yesterday was a perfectly nice floor. The fact that it might go down a little further before it comes up, nah.
Well, you like your floor, and I like mine. The fact of the matter is I don't pay any attention, if you want to know the truth.
Yeah, I know.
I'm one of the people, I know you do. I'm one of the people who close my eyes. Wake me up when it's over.
Well, there are days that I definitely don't look, but I watch the markets daily.
I know you do. Not me. I believe it's, no, it's like rubbernecking. Shouldn't do it. Slows down traffic.
Yeah, so you know what today is?
Arlie's birthday.
Yeah. My firstborn is 35.
I know. So
And I was an old mother.
You weren't that old a mother.
Well, I was 29 for a first, that's not,
it's not
for
old
my
anymore.
generation, that was an older mother.
For our family, that was an exceedingly young mother.
Right, I was still the first one.
Okay, so I was thinking of that and how I was still in Madison about to come to Pittsburgh. And I remember the room I was in this little apartment I had, and you left a message on my answering machine, which said something like, I've gone into labor, I'm this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I was so excited. And then it turned out that wasn't it. Do you remember that?
It was I had a false alarm with Arlie.
Yeah, I think you thought. Because you left me a message and that the baby was not born. But I went nuts because there'd not been a baby. So, I have a memory of that. There are...
Because when he did decide to show up,
he came quickly.
He came. Well, he came very quickly because his father, the doctor, kept assuring me that I wasn't ready to go to the hospital yet. And by the time I convinced him to please take me The baby was born 45 minutes later.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, so all did, turn out perfectly. Perfectly. But that I mean, 35 years. And I thought to myself, so if he's 35, then have I been in Pittsburgh for 35 years? Yeah, they coincide. Because I left for Pittsburgh 4 months later. Yeah. Jesus.
No.
Happy birthday! He listens sometimes, doesn't he?
I think both he and Tawny, his wife, listen. Work permitting daily. They're just sitting at their.
Oh my God!
They listen.
Well, happy birthday, and all that. Okay, so are you one of these people that think you have to drink 8 glasses of water a day?
No, and I love that piece. I was sending it to everybody that's always yelling at me. I particularly liked the part that said, and your old, disgusting-looking skin doesn't have anything to do with it
That
either.
is right. It doesn't hydrate your skin.
And it also says that they just left out the sentence where it says, but 99% of that is met through the food intake.
That's right. So they say that this is a health myth that will not die. Will not die. That you need all this water every day. And there's a big thing in the New York Times today saying that's just not right. It's so wrong. I mean, when there was. You get water from all kinds of sources. You do not have to. You get it in fruit. You get it in food. You get it in vegetables. You get it
and the thing
in
about
beer.
Coffee dehydrates you also.
That's not
is
true.
Total bull.
So all this crap about we're so focused on hydration now and dehydration, and we're nuts. Okay, everybody, calm down. Stop walking around with water bottles.
When you're thirsty, your body says
you're thirsty.
You're thirsty.
And I remember reading not too long ago something that said when your body says when you feel thirsty,
it's too late.
Bullshit. Your body knows.
And too late for what? Like you can never hydrate yourself again?
Yeah, you're dead. You might as well just show up at the ER right now because you're gone.
No, and I get to count my wine.
You get to count wine? Can I count this disgusting soda?
Yeah.
Sure, it's liquid. So there you have it. And I know, people just carry around their water. And think of the business that's been built on this.
And the other thing is salads.
Yeah.
Salads are, just, placeholders for nothing. They happen to be 90% water. And very little nutrition. So lettuce, and I don't care how, whether you're eating your kale, you're this or you're that. It's just basically... don't do it. Eat some real food.
You mean stop drinking that tasteless water, have food.
Right.
Celine is rolling her eyes over here.
Yeah, well,
she's been brainwashed.
I just ratified everything.
Yeah. And then they say that when these studies come out that say you need all this and you need that and blah, 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 Guess where those studies are? Who's funding the studies?
The people who make the stuff that they
who
want
make
you
bottled
to eat.
water. No, who make bottled water.
Nestle, who have convinced people to pay for water. and all of those. I mean, I must say that walking the dog every day has me focused on what people just toss.
Oh yeah,
in a city, in a nice neighborhood. Tons of those water bottles. Tons of them just lying around.
Well, we're talking...
Interspersed, I must say, with beer bottles. But
yeah. Isn't that something that people do that? Oh, God. So, the other thing is that even when Michelle Obama did her, get in shape campaign.
She got it wrong too.
Part of it was a drink up campaign, and then the White House nutritional policy advisor said 40% of Americans drink less than half of the recommended amount of water daily. Guess what? There is no recommended amount of water daily.
No,
That's a myth, too.
And it won't go away. And it's all because someone didn't read the next line.
Yeah, which was, most of the water you need is contained in prepared foods.
That you eat.
Yeah. So, next time somebody hectors you about, I'll be hectored today, I know, because I go work out today, and I'm always being told, no matter what I'm complaining about, well, I have a little headache or I have a little stiff.
You just got to drink more water.
That's right. You're dehydrated. Did you drink enough
sometimes
water?
Headaches are about dehydration.
Yeah, right.
I must say.
Are you hydrated?
But and I use water during my workout as a way to avoid my trainer.
Oh, yeah.
I walk very slowly to my water, which I carefully left across the gym.
Yeah, who doesn't? Suze, we all figure that one out. She'll say, okay, come on, let's go. I said, just a minute, I need a drink of water.
Lately, with my last birthday, I started occasionally saying, wait a minute, do you know how old I am?
Well, that's one you can use, too. That's right. Stop beating up on the old lady, I say. It's a wonder I'm even here.
Then
we
she
have a
just
call?
hands me a medicine ball and tells me to throw it if I'm
know,
angry.
I know. Yeah, throw it. We got a caller.
Twist, throw. There, don't
Hello?
you feel better?
Hello?
Hello, how are you?
We are fine.
Is today only a show for sisters?
No, we'll take you in.
Well, I was going to call anyway, and I have. But, you know, if you drink only distilled water,
Yeah.
you will die.
Because you're not getting, what, the minerals and stuff that you would need?
Right.
So the distillation process takes all the good stuff out, too?
Right, it's like a reverse osmosis process.
Well, we're just too clever by half, aren't we? All you people. I mean, we think we're being so smart walking around with our little bottles of water, and we're stupid!
Well, if your container is something other than that horrid plastic, like if I walk around the yard with beer in a glass bottle,
Yeah.
as long as I don't spill it while I'm riding a mower.
I don't think you're supposed to be riding the mower and drinking beer.
If you want to eliminate all heavy machinery, then I shouldn't open the refrigerator or do my washing and drying either.
No, just sit sodden in a corner and drink your beer.
Good advice, and I will leave you on that.
All right. Well, thank you. Good to hear from you.
Thank you, Lynn.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, the only thing distilled water is good for is to put into your iron.
I don't. I just use tap waters. That's
Well,
stupid.
so do I, but then eventually it starts spitting out all the...
Is
stuff
that what that's sort of like white? It almost looks like salt. Is that what
Yeah.
that is?
Yeah,
I
it's
wondered
like
where that was coming from.
It's all the minerals and stuff that are left behind after the water turns to steam.
Oh, I couldn't figure out. I thought, what's going on that I keep getting salt in my... What the hell is happening here? But I just brush it away and keep on going. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, Susan, too bad you ain't going to be in Pittsburgh this weekend because the Shady Side Arts Festival is happening.
Oh, yeah, I need some stuff.
Well, you know what? I think I once bought you something there. It's a great place. You know, those crafts and art things. Mm-hmm. It's such a great place to find unusual stuff that you aren't going to see in a store. Anyway, I just got to tell people, it is this weekend. Walnut Street closed down, open to you, and all that original stuff. Lots of fun. And, of course, free admission, but bring your money anyway because you're going to want to spend it. That's the whole idea, really. And if you want more information, just go to artfestival.com. Okay? But that's this. We got another caller? Okay. Hello?
Hi, Lynn. Hey, you know all these energy drinks and healthy
Yeah.
smoothies, whatever they have?
Yeah.
And they energy, You know what's free that you can do
What?
is sleep. Honest to God, that's the only thing that's going to give you energy is sleep. Really. These people forget all about getting a good night's sleep.
Yeah, just
that's
basic.
That's the magic of it all right there.
Yeah. You know what always tickles me is people who drive their cars to the gym and then get on a treadmill and run or walk when they could have walked to the gym. You know what I mean? Hello?
Oh, yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's just that's insanity. It's so stupid.
Oh, yeah.
I drove my car here so I could walk. Jeez.
You know what a doctor told me one time?
What?
He said, you get these people in these homes, he said, their hearts are perfect. He said, all their joints are gone. He said, they were walkers, runners, active people. He said, so they're setting up for...
Yeah, I sometimes wonder.
Home.
Yeah. I do wonder when I see these older people running around, and some of them look so... They look like everyone hurts them. Yeah, they don't look happy. And I'm thinking, you idiot. What do you think you're... I mean, some people must be blessed with better cartilage or something.
Right.
But, that kind of high-impact stuff on your joints is going to take a toll.
Yes, it is.
Swimming. That's good.
There you go.
Or walking.
Bicycling.
But I have to agree. I see more people that look like they shouldn't be running.
There was a guy the other day I saw who I literally had to stop and gawk at. It was I'm thinking, my God, he must not have any vanity at all, because surely he must know that he looks ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous. But maybe he didn't know. And all this, I mean, if I was going to look that way out exercising, I would do it in my home where no one could see me.
What was it about his personage that was ridiculous?
His gait, his posture, this sort of weird thing he was doing with his arms sort of going up and down, and his neck was way forward like in a turtle-like fashion with a grimace on his face that looked like he just looked, I mean, I wish I'd taken a picture, but it wouldn't have been nice. Don't you ever see people out running and you think, do you have any idea how ridiculous you look?
Yes.
Yes.
But there are people that have very, either they, as improbable as it might seem, don't care.
Yeah, I tip my hat to him.
Have a very positive image of them. There was a woman in St. Louis that had to be in her 90s, and I know that once upon a time she was a dancer, a showgirl, and she was still about 5'11", and with the longest legs ever. But she would walk around in the shortest of short shorts and in teeny little halters with her hair in her long blonde hair in a ponytail, and I would think, I used to think it was wonderful. She still thinks that she looks exactly the way
she does.
Looked.
She looks in the mirror and sees herself at 20.
I look pretty good at 85, and off she goes.
Yeah. So, caller, are you still there?
Yes, I'm listening.
What?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.
The girl sort of ran roughshod over him.
We did.
Well, did you see this thing about these two guys from Iowa?
No, what?
Who were heading to a Pokemon...
yeah. They were going to take out the Pokemon convention. I mean...
Two guys from Iowa heading to the Pokemon convention where it's a they take each other on, right? It's like it's a Pokemon game or something?
Yeah. I guess.
It's a competition. And they were threatening people on the Pokemon website. They got in their car, drove 25 hours to Boston where the Pokemon convention was, and Both, by the way, were very experienced players. They had registered. They were, in fact, invited to attend. And police found a 12-gauge shotgun, an AR-15 rifle, and several hundred rounds of ammunition in their car because apparently they were intending to what? Take out the Pokemon competitors?
Or as many as they could.
I mean, I can't. I'm sorry.
No telling what riles certain people.
You read that. That's one of the things you read, and you think, no, I'm not falling for that. That's from The Onion, right? When I first heard it, death threats at the Pokemon convention, I thought, come on. One of them's 18 and one of them's 27.
Well, at least they didn't get away with it.
No. How cute, by the way, are those 3 Americans who are heroes in France?
Very cute.
God, or they could eat them up.
Very cute.
Very cute. It's just adorable.
Really, I mean, really impressive.
Yeah. I could eat 'em
I mean,
up.
the guy with the
stuck his fingers in the hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. He stuck
by
his
the way, when I'm done knocking out the guy, I'll stick my finger on your artery and keep you from bleeding out.
I know. I'll stick 2 fingers in the hole in your neck and stop the bleeding while my thumb is hanging by a tendon. Jeez.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah. They look like they're just having the time of their lives.
I like them getting their medals of honor in their
polo shirts. I know. They're standing there. It's like one has a red polo shirt, one has a blue polo shirt, one had a I don't know what polo shirt, and they're all just standing there. And I'm thinking, well, I guess, they're on vacation. They didn't have suits on. And I was wondering, I wonder if someone at the American Embassy thought, maybe we better get these guys some suits. They're going to get the Legion of Honor. They got to have a blah, blah, blah. And I wonder if there was a little bit of a flurry about that. But I love the fact that they just showed up.
I thought it was cute as could be.
Ah, man. Yeah. So.
No, impressive. These are just everyday people that do the right thing.
Yeah.
And just do it instinctively. I mean, to be awakened out of a deep sleep by your friend going, go. And he just goes.
Well, but that's because they're military. I mean,
right.
they're military. God bless them. But they, yeah. Jeez. I don't know. But the friend who's not military said, he was asked, what do you think the lesson is here? Is there a lesson? And he said, well, I'd say the lesson is, if you see something, you gotta act. You can't hide. You can't, whatever. And I'm thinking, when I heard him say that, I'm thinking of what we're told is if you see something, say something. Isn't that the thing? And he's saying, no. Well, that's okay, but if you see something, do something. Much more active.
Right.
Incredible.
Well,
yeah.
There's no time to say something.
No, there was no time to say something.
No, that's what the French-American guy that was shot
injured,
was trying to do. He was saying something.
Right. And he's lucky he's alive.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So here's this. Suze, wait. Obituary of the day.
Oh, God, yeah.
Jeez. Come on, I had a good one last week, didn't I? Remember?
You did. Okay, what's the obituary of the day?
Merl Reagle.
I know. Who's Merl Reagle?
Reagle. Nice guy. He was only 65.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Susan, you probably spent some time with Mr. Reagle and didn't even know it. Because he made a living writing crossword puzzles.
Ah.
And he is, according to Will Shorts, who's the crossword maven, he is the man most responsible for taking crosswords out of this sort of stuffy, esoteric-y thing and deciding that they should be challenging but fun.
Right.
So he's the one who largely started the craziness, the puns, all the stuff that drives you crazy, but in fact makes it more fun, right?
Right.
That was
Right.
Merl. Merl Reagle did that. And they have some of his things. Like he's the one who came up with, okay, the clue was completely. And the answer is, as printed in the New York Times, is A-T-O-Z. You look at ADAZ? How's that?
No, A to Z.
A to Z. And, but, I mean, you and I have both solved puzzles in which A to Z is an answer. He's the first
Right.
one who did it. Okay, here's one of his clues. Least popular cookbook ever. To grill a mockingbird.
Well, yeah, you had to know right.
You
had to know the conceit of the puzzle, right?
Right, but so he's the one who established those. So throughout that puzzle, there were probably a number of those where you took a K out and put a or not even whatever. So you change. And then they said, so he had another one, a puzzle featuring song titles with one of the song titles' words scrambled. So stop doing your dishes.
I'm sorry. I'm not doing the dishes. I'm trying to give somebody something to eat so that he remains quiet and doesn't eat my house.
He's been very quiet.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'll continue. But you listen to this, Suze.
I'm listening.
A puzzle featuring song titles with one of the words of the title scrambled. The clue is Anna Grammy-winning baking song. You'll never get it off the top of your head because you would have to have. And it's You Ought to Be in Pie Crust. Pictures, pie crust, anagram.
Got it. Okay.
Anna Grammy-winning bakery song. Also, another. You want some more?
Yeah, but those are hard. You have to have the puzzle in
Yeah,
front of you.
I know. I don't expect you to have them, but I just tell you how clever he was. Another had the theme of movie titles with missing letters. So a clue was Empire of the Ants co-feature. The answer was Lice in Wonderland. And in that same puzzle, the co-feature of human bondage. And it was Untie Mame. Auntie Mame, both dropped the first days.
Yeah. I think I remember this puzzle.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry for those of you who aren't into puzzles. Susan and I are. I mean, and
And they've gotten so ridiculously easy.
Sometimes you say that, and then all of a sudden they throw a tough one.
Throw
at
a
you.
hard one in, but I
Yeah.
mean the last two.
I know.
Two
Sunday puzzles have
I
been
just
a
sort of-
joke. I know.
You know,
They're no
when
fun.
you start in the upper left-hand corner
And just keep
work your
going.
way all the way down to the end, that's not a good puzzle.
It's no fun. You got to sweat. For a puzzle focused on punny surnames, the clue was golfer who invented the all-plastic club. Arnold Palmer. I love you, Merl Reagle. Rest in peace, buddy boy. And he said, the last line of the obit is he said, he always kept in mind that there's a fine line between entertainment and torture.
Well, some of them, when you really can't find a way in, it is torturous.
It is. But when you do...
Yeah, you have more stick-to-itiveness than I do.
Well, that's
I
the only
give
way
up
I can
after
do
a
it.
while.
I know you're just, if you can't get it right away. What I do is the other day when I couldn't sleep, it was like 2 a.m, and I got up and I stumbled down the stairs and I turned on the TV and I looked at I think it was a Thursday or Friday puzzle that had totally stymied me. And I just started filling things in left and right. So there's something about my brain half asleep that is much better at doing crossword puzzles.
Well, no, I mean, I find frequently that if I get stumped and I put it down and just,
Walk
go
away.
back to it an hour or two later,
Right.
that stuff that made absolutely no sense to me is just, I go, oh, and I just fill it right in.
Yeah, right. We have a caller. Hello.
I'm only calling to say Arnold Palmer made me laugh out loud. I almost ruined something I was drawing because I'm taking a sip of coffee. I almost did a spit take on a drawing. I had to stand up. Now, you know how much I like puns. I'm like, oh, man, that's great.
Isn't that a good one?
Palmer.
Yeah, this guy was apparently the greatest punter imaginable. Hey, by the way, Clarence, I got an email from someone who's so excited, a fellow listener who says that she met you. Is this maybe the woman you were talking
Yeah,
about?
I think it was the woman I was talking about yesterday.
And that you drew a caricature of her nephew?
Mm-hmm.
She sent it along. Very cute.
Yeah, the star cousin Lynn Cullen. We talked about that, too.
Yeah. So then I heard from her.
Connections.
She must have heard you mention that you had met somebody who recognized you and blah, blah, blah. And now I've heard from her. And the circle has been,
It's officially
completed.
closed now.
Yes, it
and I was
is.
also happy that, you mentioned Will Short. I'm like, ooh, I know who that is. I'm a nerd. I listen to NPR.
Well, did you ever see the documentary about puzzle? What was the one about the puzzle tournament? There's a whole documentary. Actually, Bill Clinton has a little piece in it because he's a New York Times puzzle nut and apparently is really good.
See, I'm terrible at those puzzles, but
Yeah.
I really like when they do it on NPR, where Will Short goes on there and they do the puzzle.
Oh, they
game.
do those little things. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, and I usually get them, but I always say, I should try to do this. I know I'll freeze as soon as they call me. Hey, you won. We want to play this game right now. And I'll be going, duh, what a little
I know exactly. I can't believe I would be such a nervous wreck. That's why my son is always saying, you should be on Jeopardy. I said, I would rather die. I mean, because of the possibility, which is certainly very real, that I wouldn't know an answer to anything. And on top of it, I might be one of those people who never gets the buzzer thing right. So
yeah, I'll have the answer in my head. I'll be unsure. I won't be positive.
No.
And then that little pause.
You'll kill you. You're
It's
dead.
not going to get you it's not going to get you. But I was really good at home.
I know. I'm good at home too. But I was thinking think of the ignominy. It would go on the first line of your obit that you actually couldn't play Final Jeopardy because you were in negative territory.
Well, I'm sitting here trying to, you said think of the ignominy. What did you say?
Ignominy.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what the heck that word means.
That'd be shame.
The what?
Shame, humiliation.
Okay.
Right.
Listen,
the death defeat
FDR.
is really ignominious.
Yeah, or think of FDR. No, that's not what he said, not ignominy. A day that will live in infamy.
Right? I'm going, what
A
are you
day
talking
that will
about?
live in ignominy. You don't know that one? Well.
No, I'm ignominy. I'm ignorant. No. You used a word that described me one time, and I went, what the heck does that mean?
I think I might have called you a polymath.
Yeah, polymath. I've seen the word, read the word before, and I said, I don't even know what that means, but since Lynn called, so I looked it up. I'm like, oh, that's a compliment. See, I still learn stuff from your show. That's why I still listen.
Good. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Always good to hear from you, Clarence. Bye.
Have a nice day.
You too.
Bye.
Arnold Palmer. All right. So,
Yes.
did I tell you about the Shady Side Arts Festival?
Yes, you did. Do you want to tell me again?
I sure do.
Okay.
The Shady Side Arts Festival, guess which one it is in terms of numbers? First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth,
15th.
Very close. Very close. It'd be the 19th.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, coming up this weekend. Howard Allen Events, producer of the country's most popular high-end festivals, is returning to Walnut Street in Shadyside. And, guys, that's on Saturday from 10 to 7. It's on Sunday from 10 to 5. And the weather's supposed to be continue picture perfect. So you can't ask for anything more, and all the food trucks and stands will be there, and you'll bump into people you haven't seen in ages, and you can spend a little money and do your Christmas shopping. What's not to like? Certainly not the Shadyside Arts Festival. All right. There, Suze.
Very good.
Okay, so.
Ask me next year, and I'll know it's 20.
Yes. You think you'd remember that? No,
Maybe.
God,
That's
that'd be
the
weird.
way my brain works for no good
God,
reason.
that'd be weird, because that's a piece of information your brain should immediately just spit right out.
Right.
But it's weird what we hang on to, and then what? So the people who did this Ashley Madison hack, the hack of the adulterer's website, said, hey, it's embarrassing now, but you'll get over it. That's what they wrote to people who were freaking out about it. Well, apparently some people are not getting over it. There's already at least 2 suicides that are...
And a class action lawsuit.
And a class action lawsuit and attempts at extortion. Of people seeing somebody's name saying, hey, I'm going to tell your employer, I'm going to tell your wife, you give me this, you give me that. So here's what's happening. I do like, though, I have to admit, so this Josh, what's his name, Duggar got caught.
Right.
Another one is a guy named Sam Rader, who has a YouTube video blog with his wife, and it's a successful one. And it's, of course, a Christian religious thing. And he was found, of course, to be... Didn't we say this the other day? You can bet that the amazing number of, good Christian family values people who will be users of the site will just be startling. So here's one of them. And here, listen to what he says. Listen to what he says, which drives me so crazy I can't see straight. Okay?
Yes?
He says of his wife, she has forgiven me for this mistake that I made. I have sought forgiveness from God as well, and he has forgiven me. So, I have been completely cleansed of this
Right.
sin.
So, yeah, blackboard erased. That's it.
What? How does he know God forgave him? And God has forgiven me. So I'm completely cleansed. Case closed. I move on. What? Hey, that's a nice religion. I like that religion. You can do absolutely anything you want, and God will forgive you.
And say you're sorry, whether you are or not.
Right.
And then, yes, you're fine.
Ugh. So, yeah, there's a class action.
That was always my problem with apologies, because, maybe I'm just a really nasty person, but it doesn't change anything.
Well, when somebody makes you apologize...
And the expectation that it should change something, as in wiping the slate clean, is a little wrong.
Well, sometimes it works, but when somebody says, you apologize to your brother, I guess that'd be a mother. You apologize to so-and-so for saying that. How much does that mean when you're being coerced to apologize?
Right.
Now, it seems to me I remember our brother opining on this subject in his usual intellectual manner, and I think suggesting that it does still do something, even the forced apology.
Well, it still is a
humiliation.
A modicum of humiliation, right, of loss of faith. But,
you say you're sorry.
It's like this cheating stuff, like where where, to my way of thinking, an apology does very little because you've broken something that doesn't get
It's not fixable.
fixed
Yeah.
by apology. And whether the thing can be fixed or not, remains to be seen. But an apology that's forthcoming because you got outed is like not really a first step as far as I'm concerned.
No. You apologize. I'm sorry. You apologize like you mean it. I'm sorry. No, I mean like you mean it. I'm sorry. What the hell are you supposed to do? You got a gun to my head, and I'm supposed to say I'm sorry like I mean it. Ay. But then there are instances of, I think, what Barack Obama so clearly called grace in his extraordinary sermon speech at the church in Charleston. How quickly we forget the venues.
Yeah.
And the
that's
grace
sort
of those people who, the victims' loved ones, who could have just, who said, I forgive you. Now, that's not an apology, but that's something else. That is powerful beyond belief. Because it is so much something that most of us can't see ourselves doing.
No, but it's also because it comes from a very real place of faith.
Right. Jeez.
And certitude that this is out of their hands but will be taken care of.
Wow. Must be a comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of faith really must be a comfort.
Okay, so, Suze,
Yeah.
heavy subject coming up. Warning, heavy subject coming up. So Ohio has opened up a new front in the anti-abortion, what do we call it? Campaign. Endless, constant campaign. And I think if I were an anti-abortion person, I would say brilliant. They are brilliant. I have always tipped my hat to the anti-abortion crowd. Brilliant. You know what their latest strategy is?
What?
There is a bill being pushed in the Ohio legislature, which is likely to pass since it's like a legislature that looks like Pennsylvania's legislature and everybody else's legislature. It's a bunch of Republicans. And it would make it illegal for a doctor to perform an abortion if a woman is having the abortion to avoid having a baby with Down syndrome.
Oh, right. Oh, I did read about this.
Now, here's why that is brilliant. Because we all know people with Down syndrome or know people who have children with Down syndrome, and we know the joy that those people take in those children and in those lives. And because most Americans, see that as something recognizable, that's a powerful thing. So you can imagine people with Down syndrome showing up to testify. And
Sorry.
Well, no, actually, I want to thank you for the levity.
Well, do you want me to explain what happened?
Well, sure. Go right ahead. What happened there?
You know that pretty little perennial garden that I have in the back of my house that came with my house?
Yeah.
It now consists of a very large hole.
But that doesn't explain, Susan.
What?
That doesn't explain that sentence.
That noise?
Yeah.
That noise was a birdhouse that he had sort of seemed to have buried in the hole.
Yeah.
Getting knocked out of the garden onto the...
Oh.
I just can't even tell you what this looks like back here, and he's lucky because I'm talking to you and I can't...
not screaming at him.
And I can't do what I really want to do.
Oops. Sorry.
Oh, and now he's just looking at me.
Yeah, like, wasn't that cool what I
Like
just
what?
did? Yeah, like, you got a problem? Okay. Wait,
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Anything that could put...
Okay, no, it is. I mean,
Wait. I can further... I have 2 emails that I'm going to insert before we get off on that other subject. Clarence... What? Oh, forget. Clarence writes, here's a little meme that I created for Facebook a while ago, and what it is, it looks like a poster, and it says, imagine a world with no forgiveness. Would you think before you acted? Would you worry about the consequences to yourself and to others? Saying I'm sorry is too late. The damage is done. Live your life as if you would never be forgiven by anyone. Jeez. No forgiveness, the ultimate in personal responsibility. Okay. What do you think of that?
Yeah.
That's a tough, okay. And still on the subject of forgiveness is Ray. Lynn, forgiveness requires contrition, which means to grind down into dust. Contrition means to grind down into dust? It means your sorrow and regret must be sufficient to smash your own soul so that forgiveness restores it to a whole. It is not meaningless or absurd. It is necessary to be able to live with oneself. That's too heavy for me. Hang on here. Did you get that?
sort of.
Pretty heavy.
Pretty heavy.
Ray, sometimes you're just too smart for the room. I'll have to look back at that. He signs it contritely. As well you should have.
But I agree. The part that resonates with me is that an apology is all about the apologizer's feelings, not about the apologies feelings.
Yes.
It's to make the evildoer feel better. It does nothing to help the person who has been against whom the transgression occurred.
Okay. This is why I didn't take philosophy in college. It makes you think too much. My brain gets all, maybe at a younger time I would have been able to do it.
And that's not to say that it's not sometimes, important to do that, but I think it needs to be stated that the person that it helps the most is the transgressor.
The person, if they're contrite.
Well,
right? Isn't that what he's saying? Forgiveness requires forgiveness requires contrition.
Right, actual contrition.
Okay, I don't understand this. It's just too much. My head hurts.
Drink some water.
I'm dehydrated. Did the Cardinals lose last night?
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, well, you haven't been paying attention. We've been
catching up.
Yeah, and then we got your Cubbies on our tail too.
Yeah, and the Cubbies are
winning.
Are doing well too.
They're doing amazingly well. They're doing amazingly well. But I need to know if because they're playing on the West Coast and I didn't stay up. Anyway. So
that's what the Google is for.
I know, but I know the answer will be they won. I just don't even want to see it. But they did lose 2 in a row. Did you know that?
They did?
Yeah, and we're only, I don't know, we're either 3.5 behind them or what? Oh, she's looking. Celine.
Yesterday.
St. Louis.
Well, no, we apparently played the Marlins.
We played the Marlins.
Right, and then
So St. Louis, I think they're playing San Diego. I don't know who they're playing. They're out there in the West. All right, just gotta, I'm obsessed about this. Okay, Lynn writes, this mystifies me.
Yep,
Victory, St. Louis won. Yeah, sure. This mystifies me. Owning a gun and having an abortion are both legal. Yet some try and succeed as far as whittling down the abortion law, but try to get gun registration legislation, and look out. Color me disgusted in Ohio. Okay, Lynn, I will. Yeah, the right to own a gun is sacrosanct. The right for a woman to control her own body and the size of her family
I
is
really
not.
do think that's just a way to, I think that in this day and age, very few people tend to abort Down syndrome kids because...
Wrong. Between 60 and 90% of women who learn they are carrying a Down syndrome fetus will abort. All the way up to 90%. So
well, that's a big jump. How do they not know?
I don't
whether
know
it's
because
60
you
or
don't.
90?
Because maybe you don't know why someone aborts. I don't know. I'm not sure, Suze, but it says here between 60 and 90, which means given the choice, most women, and I have to figure their husbands are involved in this too if they have them, their partner, sit down and decide, no, I just don't think I can, or I want to try for a less challenging child. When you adopt a child, you are asked what your parameters are. And I remember when I was starting the process, I felt shame when I had to actually list, would you take a child with Down syndrome? Would you would you take a child, blah, blah, blah. And I found I had to really ask myself that question. And I said no a lot. I said no a lot to these things. I don't remember what I said about Down syndrome, but because I was also trying to factor in my ability as a single parent to handle what would be a more difficult...
I don't think you have to justify that. An adoption is a different,
Well, no, an adoption, too, is... No, it really isn't, in that when you adopt or when you conceive and carry a child, there are no guarantees.
Right.
You don't know what you're getting. You don't know what you're getting, ever. And I understand people's desire to try to game systems so that they have a little more assurance here and there. But that's what genetic testing now is about. That's why there is this early test for Down syndrome. So now we're saying that get ready. This is a very compelling argument that is going to be made. But it doesn't take into consideration that what we are talking about is this has to be a choice made by the woman who will be the mother of that child.
Right.
I mean, it can't be a choice made by the Ohio legislature. And here's what a doctor, professor of obstetrics at Case Western says. If abortion is legal and you can have an abortion because you want to have an abortion, what does it mean to say you cannot have an abortion for Down syndrome?
Right.
It's bizarre.
Well, it suggests that they're asking why you're aborting.
That's right.
And
it says that you've got, that's right. If we
That's
start
not a
asking
test.
a woman, but there are laws all over this country, including one here in Pennsylvania. We do have a law in the book saying it is against Pennsylvania law to have an abortion because of sex selection. Now, frankly, I find it abhorrent that anyone would abort a child because it's the wrong gender. I do. But those laws are not, and apparently none of these laws have ever been.
Well, it's because the
nobody
question
knows.
doesn't come up.
Yeah, nobody knows why a woman is having an abortion.
And all the woman has to say is
I just
something
can't-
else.
Yeah. Interestingly, national and local Down syndrome associations have not yet taken a position on this bill. I find that interesting. I do. But get ready. This is going to be powerful. This is going to be powerful. I hand it to him. Here's somebody who supports it. We all want to be born perfect, but none of us are, and everyone has the right to live, perfect or not. Oh, boy. So, Suze, have I told you about the Shady Side Arts Festival?
Oh, yeah. You going to tell me again?
Well, you know what? I saw there
It's the 19th annual.
Exactly. That one. Yeah, right. Boy, are they planning big things next year for the 20th. But this is the 19th, and the thing is you know what? I know that there's this one purveyor who shows up usually who has adorable dog things. So maybe I'll get the little Schmendrick, Ernest there, a gift. And get a gift.
Okay.
Gift for Susan's dog. Maybe a water bowl for him to carry around and trash.
You no longer. Thank God that we don't need 8 glasses, because I don't even let him have a water bowl on the floor unattended.
No, I mean yeah.
I just present him with water, make him drink, and then I take it away.
Aw, poor little guy. All right, poor Susan. Okay. Suze, that's it.
Oh, I'm the lurker of the morning. I'm out there at 5, 6, 7.
I know.
Okay,
It's
bye.
great. You know what? It's great to be out there when nobody else is, isn't it? It's quiet.
It is.
It's lovely.
We made the mommy of another Ernie knock over her coffee this morning.
See, you meet people, you spill coffee on them. It's great. It's a great way to meet and greet people, dogs.
Okay. I'll send you a picture of my garden.
Or you mean what used to be your garden? Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much. All righty, you guys. Tomorrow, I'm going to show up. Hope you do too.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper, Steel City Media, and its advertisers.